ahead of the league on stuff. Belichick went and seized the middle of the field with the late Aaron Hernandez and Gronk. It used to be if you had to score passing the ball, you made your big plays up the sidelines. Belichick moved it in. The Patriots were way above average in terms of they never fumbled. It was like they went 20 years and rarely fumbled. They were just smarter. The left-footed punter. Just angles on stuff that was better than other teams. They always had good offensive line play. Dante Scarnecchia. Now I feel like they've fallen in love with themselves and their culture, and I don't understand what they're doing. Their draft was weird. There are things in my life that I just couldn't wrap my brains around. I was in local TV for years, then at ESPN, and there was this talk about 3D television. And I always thought, you're going to ask my mom to put on glasses to watch TV? This is stupid. It bombed. It was a waste of money. I didn't get clear Pepsi. It's called Sprite. I didn't understand it. Then there's things I understand, but I don't want any part of. The metaverse. I like interacting with people. I don't want to stare at my computer screen or phone the rest of my life. The Patriots are somewhere in the middle. Like, I don't get it, but I kind of do, and I don't want any part of it, which is they don't have an offensive coordinator. They have probably next to Green Bay the weakest wide receiving core in the league as the league pivots and transitions to a more weapons-based league because of rules, regulations on what you can do defensively. Like, I get what they're doing, doubling down on their culture. But when your quarterback, Mac Jones, doesn't have the ability athletically, and this is indisputable, to make plays off script, and you also have among the weakest playmakers off script, how do you win? You become a 1979 NFL team. You have to score on long, ball-controlling drives. Kansas City can do that, and so can Buffalo and the Chargers and the Rams and the Packers, but they can also score quickly. New England has very little chance to go over the top, make plays with their feet. A super fast wide receiver beats coverage. They can score one way. They're not going to win shootouts regularly. They already can't get Josh Allen off the field. The last time they played, he didn't punt in his 10 possessions, 8, 10, 11, whatever it was. So, like, I don't get it. I don't get not re-signing J.C. Jackson. I don't get not having an offensive coordinator. It's the OTAs. He's young. No OC. They're going to struggle to play from behind. We said this about the Phoenix Suns. You can win a lot of games the way Phoenix plays, but because they don't have three-point shooters, Phoenix isn't built to come back quickly. They live on twos, not threes. New England now is built to play with a lead, and they will lead the Jets both times they play. But they will trail Buffalo at some point. And now with Miami's weapons, they'll trail Miami at some times. And they could trail the Chargers or the Raiders or the Broncos or the Chiefs or the Bills or the Ravens. They can't score quickly. This offense is not built to score quickly, and that's why part of it I get, like the metaverse, like I get it, I don't want any part of it. Part of it is 3D TV, clear Pepsi. What are you doing? Like, you just can't build a football team this way. The draft was weird. They're not fast enough. They let go of their elite corner. It feels like they're doubling down on culture. That's the Spurs, right? You're not viable anymore. You got to have stars. Got to have easy buckets. Got to have easy touchdowns. You don't want to have to out-brilliant people every week. And as brilliant as Belichick was during the great years, those Randy Moss teams, they are also like getting you freebies. Gronk was giving you some freebies. The late Aaron Hernandez got you some freebies. There are no freebies with this offense. Good luck in an AFC now that is loaded with playmakers, not only on the outside, but at quarterback. Bengals, Chiefs, Bills, Chargers, Raiders. Raiders may finish fourth in their division. Miami now has multiple perimeter playmakers. Joy with the news.
No.
Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
Well, speaking of Miami, the Heat dropped Game 4 in blowout fashion last night. It was painful, particularly that first quarter. 102-82 loss to the Celtics, but series is even at 2. It's been a very interesting series. Miami has a lot of banged-up players, as do the Celtics at this point. That's kind of been the theme all season with Miami.
It has, hasn't it?
But they still managed to finish first in the East, which is why Eric Spoelstra is confident that tomorrow's pivotal Game 5 is still in the works for the Heat.
We've proven, that we can do it. Like I said, the margin for error, either team, whatever they've done to us, we can do to them. And none of us are happy about what happened tonight, but we've proven that we can find solutions offensively in a lot of different ways.
It does feel bleak, and this is how we react game to game in these series, but it is even. He is right.
Now, the question, you and I discussed this, health is going to be big in this series because neither team's great. I mean, Golden State is without Peyton, a great defensive player. They're fine. They can play. They just have more guys. So my question is, Marcus Smart should be back for the Celtics. They'll be at full strength. Who is PJ Tucker out?
Everyone is banged up at this point.
They
didn't have Tyler Hero last night, which whatever you think of Tyler Hero, he is a better defensive player than Duncan Robinson, which you pretty much saw why Duncan hasn't been getting a lot of minutes.
Yeah, he's a liability.
Running around, fouling people, and not knocking down shots the way that he is paid to do. But the biggest question for me with this Heat team, really all series long, has been Bam. Because you can't rely on Jimmy Butler to go out there and get you 40 points a night. That's not how successful teams thrive. You're the number 2. Bam was averaging 19.1 points per game during the regular season. In this series, he's averaging 14 points per game.
Yeah.
They need him on offense. We know Bam is a great defensive player.
Yeah.
Offensively, they need his scoring.
Well, this has been remember all year I kept saying, I don't really get the Heat, like it's a culture play. My takeaway is Butler is a great athlete who can score. Bam's a great athlete who can disappear. I don't feel like, I feel like with Boston, I get certainties almost every game, most quarters. With Miami, I feel like after Butler, and now he's got knee inflammation, I don't get a lot of absolutes.
And that shouldn't be the case with Bam.
Yeah.
That should not be the case. Bam needs to score more. Now, in Game 3, he had 31 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 steals. So that was the biggest game for him this series, obviously. But they need more from him. Yesterday was an offensive disaster, obviously. PJ Tucker had no points. Jimmy Butler had 6. Kyle Lowry, 3. Max Strus, 0 points. So that's not going to work against anyone in the postseason. Victor Oladipo was only the one that kept him in the game with 23 points, 30 minutes off the bench, but not a good night for the Heat. So the Lakers have been toying with trading away Russell Westbrook all offseason after an awful first year in LA. But apparently teams are holding firm and demanding that the Lakers include at least one first-round pick to take on Westbrook's remaining deal. He has a $47.1 million player option next season. He would be the 4th highest paid player next season if that option is exercised. As of right now, LA has no intention of including a first-round pick to facilitate a deal. That's kind of why, to me, they are having conversations with new coaches about what they're going to do if Westbrook has to stay on the team, because you can't give up any more assets if you're the Lakers. You already sold everything. You've already, you got your championship, and now you're in this situation. You made the decision to bring in Russell Westbrook, which I think will probably go down as the worst trade in NBA history.
It's the worst trade in Laker history.
This is the situation that you're in. So you almost have to run it back with Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James. You almost don't have another choice, which is why the coaching search is so interesting to me, because we keep talking about Doc Rivers as if he's on the market. He's not. He is currently employed. They're not going to give up any assets to get Doc Rivers. Also, Doc Rivers coached for the Celtics and the Clippers. Now he's going to go to the Lakers? I don't see that. I don't care how many stars he's coached. There are some histories here with those organizations and the Lakers that he has had experience with. So he's not even on the market. He's not even available. So that's step one. He'd have to get fired. They've said they're not letting him go. So I don't even think he's going to be available. But the other options are Darvin Ham, Terry Stotts, Kenny Atkinson.
Well, the Lakers brand is big enough, and their loyal fans, they have built so much equity up through the years. They could, it's like the Seahawks in this year. They can just tank. Nobody's selling their season tickets. It's a great brand in Seattle.
That's not the problem.
So you can sit through an awful year with Westbrook. You're not going to lose season ticket holders. Now you'll be uninteresting in a wildly competent, distracted LA market. You'll be in the back page. but you're not going to lose any. You may lose brand share, but you're not going to lose market share. The Lakers can be awful for one more year.
My question is, why did you fire Frank Vogel?
Well,
why are you paying him a year not to coach
Yeah,
if these are the options for the coaches that you're going to bring?